see all those tomatoes in the windowsill? It's time they go out into the greenhouse so they can harden off so I can plant them soon. 2 flats of tomatoes out here that I am going to be putting in the greenhouse, and they need to harden off, and that means I can't plant them in the sun yet. They're not used to this temperature and environment. So I put them in the greenhouse now for another about 3 weeks. I hope you enjoy these videos that have the Amish title and the Amish type feel to them. You know, Amish and Mennonite and good, wholesome country living really has a whole lot in common, because it's a lot of the same things. I know a lot of you say, well, I'm not Amish and I'm not Mennonite, but I do all of these things. And that's true. I think the Amish and the Mennonites and the English people that are the country living, I think we have a whole lot in common. I'm going to share with you today a little bit what this challenge has done for me and what I am changing because of it. You know, I made the statement and people didn't quite understand it, but I'm going to share a little bit in detail today. I said I'm ending my YouTube videos, ending my YouTube career with videos like these, and immediately people thought I meant I'm ending my career. What I meant by that is I'm finishing out however long God wants me on this platform to be working on just the kind of things that I enjoy, and that is this kind of living. This has been my life. I was born this way. I will die this way. This is my roots. This is everything I know. I don't know a whole lot about things in life, but I know about this lifestyle. And this lifestyle is good old-fashioned country living. But I think that we're living in such a day and age that each year it's getting progressively more and more just a rat race of life. And well, I'm trying to do 2 things at once, and I'm not very good at that. Maybe I should just focus on the camera. I think that we need to implement the Amish lifestyle more in our life. The Amish were very intelligent and very smart about how they created their community. Now, there's a lot to be said about their community, that there's negative parts to it and there's positive parts to it with every life. My mom was a women's counselor, and she counseled an Amish girl who went through a lot in her life because of her lifestyle and because of her father. And it wasn't a happy lifestyle for her. And so we can't just say the Amish are the perfect people, the Mennonites are the perfect people, or the Amish are the bad people. There are bad people everywhere. There are bad cultures everywhere. But I think in general, if we just generalize everything, let's just not see everything so black and white. Let's just generalize some things sometimes. In general, we can learn a lot from the Amish. I have. And I hope there's other people have too. And the country living, or the good old-fashioned country living, or, you know, wholesome living. And while the Amish, their teenagers are not, all of them are wholesome. Once they join the church, though, they're giving up a lot of that. And once you join the church, you're joined to the church. And so the Amish are segregated in a way, because once you join that church and you do something bad, you're out of that church until you confess and go through a whole bunch of stuff. We could talk about shunning, because my mom was shunned and when she left the plain Mennonites, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I'm not going to really talk about the religious part of it, but I am going to share some things of it because that's my background. So I'm not going to say, oh, this part of the religion is wrong and this part of the religion is right. That's what I mean. I'm not going to go into that. But there are things that we can learn and we can discuss in a really beautiful way. So, I'm not sure how I want to word all this. My channel, I've talked about frugal living. I talked about extreme frugal living. I talked about poor living. I talked about all these certain topics. But when it comes down to it, I talk what I know. I don't know about the economy in the world scenarios. I can't do them kind of videos, the reaction videos, which I know a lot of you watch. And I just can't do that because I don't know that kind of thing. See, I was brought up and raised in the Mennonite tradition, which would be a lot like the Amish. There's only just The Amish and the Mennonites are basically, they believe the same thing, but then the Amish are more strict. And we can go into that if you wish. But I was not raised with conspiracy theories. I was not raised with all of the things that you're hearing, you know, YouTubers talk about. And I can try to do that, and it just doesn't work for me, because that's just not how I was born and raised, and that is not in me to do that. So I can get on and say, did you know that tomorrow this is gonna be gone? Buy it today, or it's gonna be gone tomorrow. It's silly for me to say that, because it's not me. And so while these videos, I'm hoping, are important to a group of people who are searching for calmness and searching for a way out of the world, but in a way that gives peace. I wear more skirts now. I wear more dresses. I do have, occasionally I wear long pants in some videos, especially if I'm doing something that requires more modesty. You know, I will wear long pants, like if depends on what I'm doing in the garden and things like that. But I love my skirts. This is me. This is what I like. I would have loved to be plain, but that just wasn't in my cards. In other words, that my husband that just wasn't in his cards. You know, that just didn't work out. But I can be that way, and I can live that way, and I can choose that way where I'm at. And so that is what I'm doing. And so I am not plain as far as the coverings, you know, the full coverings, the cape dresses, but this is me and my style, and a lot of it is because I want to go back to my roots. So being 53 years old, I feel like I'm finally doing the things that I've always wanted to do, just didn't have the courage to do it. Yeah, for me it took courage. I know they say, you know, people say they see bandanas all the time, but for me it took courage, because people aren't wearing bandanas right here. Now once I go to my hometown, we drive into my hometown, they have the bandanas. I blend right in, but when I'm here in this part of the county, it's not. I'm considered extremely oddball. And that's how it is. And I love it. I love finally embracing who I am and not worrying so much about what people are saying or what people are thinking I am or thinking I'm not. I am who I am, and I enjoy that. And this Amish lifestyle, getting up early in the morning, not being on social media as much, watching what I see, watching what I do, watching what I hear, being more involved in the community, and learning to do things at home more. That's what's given me the biggest happiness in the whole wide world. So a lot of the Amish have greenhouses, but a lot of them just plant things in their house like I do. So this was planted, and it was at the windowsill. I'm gonna go take these out, put them out in the greenhouse.